What's going on? What's going on? What is going on? Shout out to the CIA. CIA in the house. One love, FBI. Oh, man. We are back. Shout out to Master Teacher Ron Wills. I wanted to do this stream because Ron Wills made a good point that I think needs to be further amplified. When Rom is, if you haven't checked him out, I'll put Rom's information down at the bottom, but Rom talks a lot about being a select man in the select manosphere. One of the things when it comes down to image is image. A lot of people think image is just your clothes. It's just your clothing and what your clothes say and what your clothes, the brands you wear, the fit. And most people get image all wrong. Look, man, image is 4 parts. Your appearance is only one part of it. The other parts are your behavior, the way you communicate, and then your digital footprint, the way you look online. Here's the question. Here's the question. What does your image say about you? What does your image say about you? What is your image broadcasting? Most people don't recognize that when you are in public, you are speaking to everybody in the area. And this is one thing that guys really don't seem to understand. It always matters. It always matters. If you are out of your house, it matters. Business casual work environments have done more to damage a lot of guys' image than anything else, because there used to be a time where guys actually dressed professionally. Well-fitting shirts, trousers, jackets, suits. But today, so many people dress business casual. It's become a problem to the point to where even companies are thinking about going back to a business professional work environment. See, the thought was that when people dress down, they'll be more comfortable and be more productive. What they found is when people dress down, productivity declines. You need to ask yourself a question. What does your image broadcast? What does it say to people? Think about your image as a foreign language. My bad tempers make others think I'm a loose cannon. No. Well, you're a bad temper. Well, why is your temper even an issue? Stephen T. Why is see, when you go to work, your personal life, you need to check that at the door to get the job done. See, here's the thing. Another thing, a lot of guys don't really think they need to worry about their image. They don't think they need to worry about their image because you're there to do a job. Especially guys who tend to be science, engineering, technology, math, tend to work in technical environments. These are guys that really, if you actually took your image more seriously, you would see it in outcomes in your professional, on your professional track and in your personal life. He said that red fur. He said, Jedi Max says, my image is a cross between urban and preppy. So let me just go ahead and cut to, most guys don't have any idea what their image truly is. There are 9 style personalities. And most guys are just picking from what they like. Pick from what they like or what they want to be. See, and the problem with that is image is communication. It is a language. And so many people are speaking a language that's not native to them, or they're speaking the language poorly. Yeah. The suit every day is pretty much uncomfortable, Kevin. I don't give a shit about your comfort. Let me just say that again. Understand something. A lot of guys just quit on life. And I don't care about it. When I hear guys make that statement, I say, go over with the babies, little boys, and I don't care about your comfort. I care about outcomes. I care about you being successful in life and then having options. Comfort, who cares? You wear a black, see, one of the hardest things for guys to recognize is unless you had a father who knew what he was doing, you were raised by a well-intended or well-meaning mother at best. She does not know. She dressed you to look cute. She dressed a little boy to look cute. That's why so many guys today still dress like boys, dressing age appropriate and for what it is you want to achieve. Successful men don't worry about things like, well, I'm going to be comfortable. You worry about outcomes. Who are you talking to? Stephen T. Who are you, Stephen T? Let me just read this. My bad temper makes others think I'm a loose cannon. I have a hard time processing my emotions. I'm 37 years old, Playboy. You're 37, that means you're almost 40. You're a middle-aged man. You need to go. A middle-aged man should have gone to see a counselor by that time. If these are the issues you're having and you know it, then you are responsible for it. You need a therapist. Go see counselors. The next one. We still getting into uncomfortable suit argument. Yeah. Well, we get into what we really get into in Telic is a lot of guys are content. A lot of guys are content and comfortable. Like Big Snap said, a lot of guys have given up, and that's fine. I don't mind if you're content or comfortable. It's just you have to be able to line your expectations up with what you're willing to do. You know, a lot of times guys will get on women for talking about they want a man who's 6 foot tall, making six figures and all this other stuff, and she's not this. Well, you want to be a successful guy with this or that. You got to line up those options. I mean, line those realities up. I tend not to focus on brand so much, but I need you to understand what does the way you behave and the way you talk or communicate say about you? What does the way you behave and the way you communicate say about you? Your behavior, your frame, the way you actually interact with other men or women when you're in public or online. What does that say about you? Also, what does it say about you, the way you communicate, your word choice? Can you express yourself in written word? This is a huge problem for so many men today. So many men today, when they are forced to write, they look like babbling idiots. So one of the biggest things guys need to do is actually pick up a book and read. Picking up a book and reading, one, you get the benefit of the knowledge. Two, you also can see what grammatically correct word choices, correct sentence structure. These things matter immensely. They matter. See, let me just say this. Your image, the clothes you use, the clothes you wear, that only gets you the first 7 seconds. Looking the part Get you the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It gets you the first 7 seconds. But what happens on 8 on forward? From 8 seconds on through, people take how you look, then they assume how you're going to be. Guys, let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. Image broadcast. This is why I say one of the best things you can do for yourself as a man is actually your own personal image consult. Because so many guys really don't know what their image is saying about them. And see, what your image says about you, one part of it is your appearance. The other 3 parts are more nuanced. See, it's easy for guys to sit back and say, oh man, just wear this suit or that suit or this thing or that thing. That's clothing. Clothing is variable. How do you behave in that clothing? How do you communicate in that clothing? How do you think and move online? Important. Twism says, I've always been a great writer. Well, and that's good. Writing is a skill that more guys need to improve upon. You know, if most of us stop learning, if we're honest with ourselves, a lot of us stop learning after formal schooling, whether it's high school or college. And going forward, in 2020, we're going to be talking about image and how it relates to your overall happiness. See, you got to ask yourself a question. Are you happy in life? Meaning, are you satisfied in your personal life? Are you satisfied in your professional life? Are you being fulfilled? Do you have things on the horizon to look forward to? Are you happy? But I still talk about style personalities. There are 9 of them. I'm not going to go into detail on them. Not going to go into detail on them. That's something I teach clients. So that's another thing. In 2020, I will be opening my online classes. The online academy. So like a lot of the stuff you're asking about, the style personalities, that'll be a class you can take. Learning about the style personalities. But the thing is, you don't want to get into the habit of diagnosing yourself. Yeah, that should be left up to a pro, because many of us have things that we like to be, and what you like to be versus what you are 2 different things. So I say the thing is, I can express myself better in writing than speaking. That's a skill. That's a skill that can be learned. See, I laugh when people say you can't learn confidence. That's bull. You can definitely learn confidence. Confidence can be learned, and so can assertiveness. Yep, you can be the best dressed person in the room, but if your attitude is off, you're invisible. And see, this is what plagues so many young guys today. And so many guys today is either they're not visible because of their appearance, or they're invisible because of the way they communicate and behave. Human beings have instinctively evolved, have evolved to ostracize or put things out that they don't understand. If people don't understand the way you are, they're gonna just put you over there. He says, I was a White House intern. I had this drilled into me when I showed up wearing a loafer with no socks. See, another thing, I say this on Instagram too. So many guys, let me say this, you've invested thousands of dollars in, you've invested $50, $100,000 in college. You better invest it, go ahead and put the $10,000 into your self-improvement. 10 grand. I'm gonna start putting a number on it. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But 10 grand to net more. Like I told the story about being my first year in sales, and I made $35,000, and I took $5,000 and invested it into additional sales training outside of my company. And the next year I made $45,000. I made $15,000 more. So it was a net $10,000 increase. Let's just take that, and I kept improving over that. But even if, just like the average college graduate makes more than average non-college graduate, the guy who will invest in himself, we're going to talk about this more in the numbers next year. But even if you just said $10,000 year over year, if the average person works 40 years from 25 to 65 for retirement, and that's an additional $10,000 over 40 years, that's an additional $400,000 plus the interest. See, most people don't realize that investing in yourself, into self-improvement, is going to increase your income and your personal life satisfaction. You either make more money make more money per hour or work more hours. This isn't rocket surgery or brain science. Twism says, I'm a sneakerhead. I can't shake the addiction. How old are you? I'm not going to say I don't need an image consult. Most people like the way I dress and my personality. I get mistaken for an NBA player a lot. I'll leave that one alone. Expectations. Let's talk about expectations. I'm going to read something off real quick. Expectations. You'll find that the average person does not expect much out of life. Hashtag Happy Henry. Most men's problems aren't big enough. See, that's the thing. This is why you always hear people talk about, oh, I'm from the hood and the struggle. And see, when you had that hood struggle, different side of the track, raised poor dirt, when you were hungry, you had big problems. And big problems make big solutions and big efforts. Most guys' problems aren't big enough. You look and you say, oh, well, my mortgage is paid, my car's up to date. I got a little money in the bank. I can have sex from time to time, not with the kind of woman I want. I can eat what I want. I mean, you don't have any big problems. So it's like, well, what? Then why do you have to do anything big? You don't have to do anything big if you don't have big enough problems. You're 33 years old and can't break a sneaker addiction. What you trying to achieve, man? I mean, if you're trying to, like I said, going next year, I'm trying to work with the top 49% of men. The 49% of men who are trying to break into the top 10%. The bottom 50% of men, 51% of men, they're content, they're average. Big ups to them. But over here, we're talking to guys who are trying to become six-figure earners, own their own business, that kind of stuff. We're talking to guys who are aiming bigger. And you can engineer your own happiness. And one of the biggest ways to predict happiness, social support. Social support is the biggest predictor of happiness. What's your social life look like? Do you have a full social life? Do you actually have people who are friends in your world who you can call up, who will actually work? See, a lot of these questions guys don't want to ask because here's the thing. A lot of these questions guys in the middle class don't want to ask because you start having zeros in these categories. See, when you compare yourself against everybody, You can always say, I'm better than these guys. But when you start comparing yourself against the best, you start racking up zeros. And guys don't want to rack up zeros. Yeah, 33 years old, sneakers should have been over at 25, 23 actually. Social support is the best predictor of happiness. You have to create social connections. Social support creates happiness, and happiness creates productivity. I'm gonna tell you something else. Social connectivity score. People with a high social connectivity score, I'm gonna put this on Patreon, make about 40% more than others as far as in raises and promotions. So, see, he just said, Twism said what I just said. Well, I make 6 figures, so I'm just enjoying my money. Content. If you're content, cool. But not for me. I don't want to deal. I don't say I want to deal with content. It's a horrible thing for men. I'm just saying comfort is a horrible thing. Because when men get content, they get fat and they get lazy. And then they get left. What if you only have social support from your grandmothers and family members? Then you need to work harder. Your mama and your grandma and your family members ain't the world. See, when you talk to the average guy one-to-one, they'll say, man, I want more. Case in point, the guy just said he was content. And I would say, well, the woman you have right now, or the women you deal with right now, would they be the same caliber of women you would deal with if you had $50 billion in the bank? The answer always comes back, no. Then why are you dealing with them? Dealing with them because that's the best. Men are only as your men. What is it? Men are as only as faithful as their options. Yeah, you are content. He says, I'm not content. Yeah, you are. If you were 33 years old and you make 6 figures and got a sneaker addiction, that means you have money to do better. Why not? See, you say working on buying first property right now. Let me also say this. 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 ears, 1 head, 24 hours, 7 days. Most guys today are limited because they don't have a network. They're not multiplying themselves. They don't have people you're working with. So you're having to do all the work on your own. And you're going to eventually stumble, fall, or break down. No network. It's better to social support is the key. Is a key for so many guys. And the thing is, if you really want to take it to the next level, you got to ask yourself some hard questions. Questions that honestly, the answers come back, may piss you off, may scare you, may frustrate you, but you got to ask them nonetheless. It's kind of like when I went to, as a cancer survivor, when I went to the doctor. When I got the diagnosis back, I had a choice, but I at least knew what the diagnosis was. What is the diagnosis for your image? What is, have you had your image diagnosed? And and what does it say? And what do you want it to say? Okay, guys, I'm gonna ask a question and I'm gonna do this for another 15 minutes. What does your image say about you? To the guys in the chat room, what is your image say? What is your image broadcast about you right now? In 1 to 3 words. What is it broadcast about you? Let's see. I have to dress up for work, so I have a decent collection of dress shoes and boots. Yeah. D-Wiz says his image says that he's serious. Another dude says comfortable, high class, fly young brother, effort, work in progress, swag style, civilized black man, upper broke. Professional. So determined. I will say this though, dude. The guy, the tourism guy, are you looking forward to being 40, 50? At what age, see, I'm just say this. This is probably gonna be controversial. For so many young, 30 is where life ends. 30 is old to you guys. 30 is, it's like, oh, 40, 50, old. Don't realize that every other group of men other than look at life at 40 is where life starts. But youth has its advantages, but youth lacks wisdom. That is as old as time. Showtime Mike, you said, if you like sneakers, nothing wrong with that. Like I said, no, I wouldn't say that. I would say it's a waste of money. I would say it's a waste. As a professional image consultant, I'm going to say, no, that's wrong. Money is finite. He's not a multi-billionaire. Money is finite. And every time you invest in a pair of sneakers, that's money you're taking away from investing in something that could net you a higher return. That's all it comes down to. I don't give a shit about what you like. I care about the outcome. No, you ain't gonna be fly like me with no damn sneakers on. No, not hardly. No. Name me another group of men that aren't black that run around talking about sneakers. I can do what the fuck you want to. Wear them sneakers until you 80 years old. Knock yourself out. Just don't complain about the outcomes. Wear whatever the heck you want to. Just take the outcomes as they come. Take all of them and don't say a word about it. That's really what it comes down to. Every $190 every Saturday. That's crazy. That's right. I know how much sneakers cost. See, the thing is that money is finite. If you spend $200 a rip on a pair of sneakers, then I go into your closet and I look and you got a suit that's $200. And this is the suit you talk about wearing. If I go in and say, well, where are your 3 suits? Where's your tuxedo? Where's your dinner jacket? Where are your 6 basic shoes? Where's this? Where's that? Oh, I don't have that. I don't wear that. Okay, well, you don't have a broad enough life. If you don't have a life that doesn't require you to put on a suit from time to time, you need a broader life. If you're going to be a gentleman, a man. Now, if you're going to just say, hey, man, I don't want to go to places like that, knock yourself out. But one day you're going to look up and say, those are the only places you're going to be able to go. Danielle, you'd be surprised, dude. I've heard dudes talk about $30 shoes. Young dudes don't buy suits. No, you're 100% wrong about that too. Sorry. What you mean to say is the guys you know don't buy suits. Guys you don't know, the guys you know or think of don't buy suits. And what are you talking about, Mr. Will? What Kev buys can be considered as art and appreciated. Okay. Sometimes you guys, y'all just be talking. You get fixated on some of the things like that big fur coat. What do you guys normally see me in? Black suit, white shirt, black tie, or black suit, black shirt, black tie. When I dress in 90% of the time is my standard uniform. How much would a whole closet cost? You don't buy a wardrobe. But I would say the average 40-year-old professional man has about $50,000 invested in his wardrobe. That's before fragrances. See, one of the big issues is a lot of guys' image broadcast is not saying what they want it to say. It's not speaking the language they want it to speak because you're not getting the outcome you want. Here's the net of it. Are you professionally where you want to be? And is your personal life where you want it to be? If not, you got to look at what you're broadcasting. I told a friend of mine who's a self-made millionaire, you can't buy a quality pair of dress shoes under $200. He laughed at me. Look, just because he's a self-made millionaire does not make him an expert in things outside of his core competency. We try to use money as an indicator, like, well, this person has money, so they know better. No, he could be a self-made millionaire shoveling shit. That does not mean he knows what a quality pair of shoes just like. And oftentimes they'll say, well, I didn't need it to do that way. Here's the thing. Guys who make those kind of arguments, the reality is they should just say, I don't feel like I should have to, or I don't want to do it. Cool, don't. What I think about Old Navy, it's cheap. It's cheap. It's cheap, fast fashion. It's a waste of money. That's what Old Navy is. It's cheap, fast fashion and a waste of money. Cheap, fast fashion and a waste of money. It's fast fashion. It's meant to last for a season. In my opinion, that's a waste of money. Buying a wardrobe staple to last for one season is a waste of money. Like going to buy a pair of, let's say, denim, dress denim, dark denim. Going to buy a pair of dress dark denim that's going to last 1 year is a waste of money because it's something you're going to have in your wardrobe forever. It's like you can go to Aldo and buy dress shoes that look like higher quality shoes, and they'll last you 6 months. Image broadcast. Spike Lee he's an artist. His style and personality is different than the average person. See, the average person is not an artist. The average person is not an artist or an athlete. The average person is middle class, upper middle class, lower rich class, lower upper class. You don't have that. You can't wear what a lot of these people you see in entertainment and sports do. Now you can have a sneaker collection. See, the thing is, The thing is, what most sneakerheads don't have is balance. Most sneakerheads don't have balance because it's hard to have an extensive sneaker collection and a proper men's wardrobe on a limited income. It's just math. If you are making 6 figures and you have the Yeezy Red Octobers that are $12,000 and all these other sneakers that are 2 to 7, whatever, and you don't have the core and you don't have a classic men's wardrobe, then I'm looking at you crazy, because the classic men's wardrobe is an investment that can actually make you money. A sneaker collection costs you money. This is an asset. This is an asset. This is an expense. And I will say this and I'm gonna run. The reality is this: what your image says after the first 7 seconds, not your appearance. See, how we focus on is our appearance, how you look, how you behave, how you communicate, and how you look online is 93 plus, it's not 93. The words we use are 7%. How you stand, how you move. Do you walk with confidence? Do you make direct eye contact? Do you speak simply? Do you speak succinctly? Do you speak with authority? When you're walking, do people look at you and say, that person knows where he's going? That's the big deal. That's the big deal. Until you flip them sneakers for, again, more of the same. Until you flip sneakers for big money. See, let me tell you what's wrong with that line of thought. You're going to go buy some sneakers and then try to flip them and make big money versus investing in yourself and earning more money. Think about the thought process there. Increasing yourself as an asset or going to buy over here. So basically you're trying to buy wholesale and sell for retail. It's that dope boy mentality, man. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. That is backwards ass logic. That street shit. Do it if you want to. Good luck at it. See, when you are sitting back and you know something works and you're dead set on going counter over there, I don't have time to deal with it. I won't be dealing with this shit in 2020. Understand this. When I do come and do live streams, success is an echo chamber. I will be blocking you guys. I don't care about your opinion. Honestly, I'm not trying to be rude, but your opinions are just that, your opinions. If you don't come to hear what I'm trying to teach or what I'm trying to tell you or I'm trying to say, if you want to say, yeah, but I'm going to block you. I'm going to block you. So know that. Any info on how to take clothes to make sure you last, wash and dry? Look at the care label. Check the care label. Well, yeah, buy quality. First thing you do is you buy quality. The first thing you do is buy quality. The second thing you do is look at the care label and act accordingly. If it says dry clean only, dry clean only. If it says hand wash, hand wash. See, I want you to think about your car. When you had a car that didn't cost a lot of money, did you keep it clean? Did you keep it washed or whatever? But when you bought that brand new car you had, you was washing it soon as the wind put a spot on it. You was washing it. Yeah, but we are just exploring more. But no, I don't. No. Let me explain this. But we're just exploring more from you by questioning. You don't get to question me. You want to question me. You want to ask me a question. What you do is you go book your time. I'm not trying to be rude, man, but that's like you saying you come to English class and you come to math. No, I'm gonna say, what example do I want to use? I'm not your peer. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm not your peer. I'm an expert. You don't come and question. I tell you what I'm telling you because I know what I know. You don't question the expert unless you're an expert. Now, if you want to actually go back and forth with me, great. You can pay for that. Is there something between? Let me say this. Why, Stephen T? I'm gonna answer this question first. Is there something between Old Navy and Gucci that is quality made without hype driving the price up? Why? Why are you asking that question? Well, Kevin, there are going to be difference of opinion from time to time when you open up forums for discussion. I'm not opening a forum for discussion. That's what you're missing out. See, opening up a forum for discussion would be me asking your opinion on something. I have not asked an opinion on anything. I've said this, I've said that. You don't have to like it, but I've not asked your opinion or anybody else's opinion. This is how you learn. I just told you. So the question is, how does anybody learn if they don't ask questions? If you want to learn, you just like you went to college to learn and paid your tuition. If you truly want to learn, you go book your consult. If you truly want to learn, there's the one way you learn. Just like you pay college tuition, you book your consult. Well, there you go. Next, again, I've said it before and I say it again. This is, yeah, thank you. Dude's got to be teachable. See, what a lot of times people want to come in and you want to question what I say for what? You believe what you believe. Act on it. Honestly, it's not for me to change what you believe. Because here's the thing. Unless you can get the results I get or better, real talk, you can't tell me anything. Because that's what it comes down to, outcomes. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. But everyone can't produce outcomes. I'll answer the question, wealthy firefighter. Why debate? Sit back and listen. Eat meat. Here's why they debate, because they want something for nothing, and that's understandable. That's why so many of my colleagues don't live stream, don't do any of this stuff, because they don't really want to interact with people who are asking for something, who honestly are never going to book their services. That's what a lot of my colleagues like. Why would you do that? A lot of times people are just going to ask you questions to just pick your brain. They're not going to become your client. Just make pre-recorded videos. I get it. So when I make my presentation, Going forward, I'm going to actually limit the chat room to members only, because most people come to chat rooms just to kind of talk to one another, and they're not coming for the broadcast. So oftentimes people worry about image as peacocking. Well, I don't want to do this because it'll be viewed as that. All right, let's take that line of thought. How is your current image helping you achieve the outcome you say you want? How many people, how is your image yielding you the outcome you want? Not the outcome you will accept, but the outcome you want. If your image is yielding you the outcome you want, then you're winning. Then you're okay. See, that's a big portion of all this. See, a lot of things that people will say about men's spaces is if a guy is happy, there are not many complaints. Now, that's why I disagree. You can complain and be happy. A complaint is just a statement of an argument, but you're doing something about it. See, the difference is the action. Matter of fact, complaining, just like Mr. Nancy, complaining gets shit done. You have to look at the issue and say, here's the problem. How do we fix it? How do we move forward? But complaining impotently, meaning complaining and not doing anything, is the real problem. And learning and understanding who's doing what is a skill. See, someone asking a question for knowledge to do something about asks a question differently than someone asking a question to make a point. Different things. So, greetings, Kat. Your image. And here's another thing. A lot of people underestimate online. Let's talk about image broadcast. For the people who think like this is just YouTube. This is just the internet. This does not matter. You could not be further from the truth. First of all, your digital footprint, how you are online, impacts how you act in the real world. People very rarely are going to get online and become different people than they are in the real world. They may not show who they are in the real world, but it is who they are. See, a lot of times people think, well, there's a strong image between earning potential. Yep. And that's the thing, it's potential. See, a lot of times people think, well, people get online and they act this way, but in the real world, they ain't like that. Oh yeah, they are. They are that way. They just do it in a passive aggressive way. Yeah. Congruency, how you do everything. This is why professional headhunters, recruiters, and companies actually look at your online footprint to get a gauge on who you are. So for the people who think that you're moving in the world in these chat rooms and things like that, and because this information is out there, people can find out who you are in chat rooms. Especially as the higher you go up in these positions and the more money's online, the more opposition research is done. Understand something. You can learn a lot by people from how they handle themselves online. So how do you look online? How do you look online? What are the words you use online? See, even your screen name, the screen name you say or you use tell a lot of people about you. Thank you, D Wiz. How you do little things, how you would do big things. And see, what I think a big portion of it is just the fundamental lack of understanding of the importance of image. We downplay it, and most people downplay stuff that they don't understand or don't like. Investment in a steamer, sitting right over there. Buying clothes that fit, more important than the brand name. Buying clothes that are quality, more important than how many of them you have. And then taking care of your stuff is the main thing. And then I made a video about investing in your environment. That's what you guys see back here. Investing in your environment. How your place looks, smells. Because what I want ultimately for the average guy is this. Average guy is afraid to even ask for what he wants because he doesn't feel like he can get it. Doesn't feel like he can get it. And I want guys to realize that your life can change in under 1 year if you're willing to put in the work. If you're willing to put in the work. What is that? Uh-oh. All right. No, that's not what I want. I'm sorry. I just clicked off the channel. So, going forward, understand this. 2020 is going to be a different outlay on the channel. Tony Reynolds, should I book a consultation or a personal advice line person? Book the consult, and then from the consult, we'll determine whether or not you need advice or the consult. See, a lot of times guys will book a virtual consult. People will book a virtual consult, and what they'll actually need is more life advice. It's easier to kind of reverse engineer. But here's the thing. I'm going to start giving, at my Christmas broadcast, we're going to start giving benchmarks. I would say $10,000 is a good ballpark to start looking at personal improvement. Personal improvement is 10 grand. See, I know they're going to blow somewhere like, I don't know, $10,000. All right. Well, that's why you need to go get that part-time job. Because if you went to college, and especially if you went to college and you spent your $50,000 in debt, $70,000, you better tack the other 10 on to make sure you can increase what you're making. See, if you're already in debt, you better add on something that's going to be able to get you out faster. Is going to be more beneficial. Have I ever tried Nest candles? Yeah. Yep. Talked about them in the video. How do you guys handle bathroom smell? Advice for 20. What's your degree going to be in? Depends on what you're going to school for, Mick Duran. Okay, what's your thoughts on gifting business clients in the holiday season? Do it. Darn sure want to gift clients in the holiday season. Yeah, you give clients and you gift providers. See, like the guy, did you gift your barber? Yeah, gifting is one of the best things to do to help improve your image. People like getting gifts. Yeah, $10,000. See, that's another thing. I realize a lot of stuff is kind of vague. So start giving guys benchmarks. Look, if you're not willing to put in $10,000 worth of investment to yourself, you're not really talking about some serious self-improvement. You're just talking about patchwork. You know, I'll put $100, I'll put a couple of $100 into it. You're going to get a couple of $100 result. You talking about serious self-improvement, you're going to have to do some serious work. And the thing is, it doesn't stop. Happy holidays. Your content has upgraded my marriage and my business. Great. Make sure you show that love on Patreon, or actually show it right now and donate through. I'm going to actually come back on later on tonight. But see, I think it's going to be important when I release these online classes in January, you'll be able to learn from the comfort of your own home, whether on video or whether on audio. Some people are ready to jump into life coaching. Some people are ready to jump into image. Some people may need more confidence, assertiveness training. We're going to be talking about real world stuff. How to move out here in the world, how to network, how to actually build friends, how to gain friends, how to actually get out and interact with folks. Okay, I'm gonna answer this question. This guy says, why buy shoes when you can audit, grad, or MBA class and get a certificate? Don't. I'm not here to convince you to do anything. Do whatever you think is going to get you the outcome. The difference is you're in there with how many other people? See, what guys like that want is they want justification to remain exactly what they are. But if you were where you needed to be, why are you on a broadcast talking about image? Why are you here? If that's your attitude, why are you here? See, that's the real question, Morning Blue. See, his question was a disingenuous question. This is an image channel. Why are you in an image channel asking why do you need to worry about image? See how that works? They really want is just people to tell them, oh no, going in and audit the class and such and so forth, knowing good and well you need to do both. But see, both requires investment in time and money. And the average person is lazy. They don't want to invest the time or the money. They want maximum return for minimum investment. Yeah, looking for permission for mediocrity. Thank you, Quentin. That was right. Looking for permission for mediocrity. You don't need my permission to be mediocre. You don't need my permission to be average. Knock yourself out, bro. All right, guys, I got to run. Till next time, talk at you later. Peace.